On this week's episode of Friend Code, Brad and I are going to talk about Castlevania II for the NES. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Friend Code. I'm your host, Michael Damiani. This week, I'm joined by Brad Ellis.
Hello.
I kind of struggled there because, I'll be honest, Brad, when I'm introducing you, I don't know. I always say Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we just call you Brad?
Yeah, that's usually what people call me.
I know. So, I'm always confused sometimes in the
You
moment.
can call me whatever you want.
I'm really bad at that. I'm
Either
really bad.
is
Like,
acceptable.
in the moment, I overthink things way too much, dude. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's like the dumbest thing
It's
ever.
all good, man.
No achievements today.
No achievements.
Except that I have beaten Castlevania II.
That's an achievement.
That's probably an achievement.
That is.
So we're gonna spend some time talking about Castlevania 2 in just a little bit, but I didn't only want to just do that. Like, I wanted to have a little bit of an opener here, and it's kind of relevant because there really hasn't been a lot of Nintendo news lately. Just nuggets of info here and there. But today, the Japanese Xenoblade account put out some new character renders for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, Brad, that you tried to play the original game on Wii.
Yeah.
And you had some thoughts about the visuals.
Yeah. I thought it was an extremely ugly game all around.
I'm curious, when did you try and play it?
When it first came out. I bought it the day it came out.
So this isn't a thing where people are like, oh yeah, if you played to play recently, of course it doesn't. It was like when it was new.
Yeah, it was like, that was quite, because that's never happened to me before that I can recall. But something about the way it looked just really rubbed me the wrong way.
So Brad, I want to show you these new character renders for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition that were posted today by the Japanese Xenoblade account. And I want you just to basically rate them, essentially.
Okay.
However you feel the need to do that. I'm not going to give you any more input on that. But only thing we're going off of is that you played the original game, came out, and were turned off by the visuals. So
yes,
let's try this out. So we're gonna enter into, for our watchers right now, we're gonna go into screen share mode. I apologize. We're gonna have a little bit of we're gonna be a little bit smaller in the corner, but you will still be able to see us. So here we go. So this is the new Shulk render. So this is the character art. So I have two in-game images for each character. So let's go through we'll go through Shulk's first. So this is Shulk's render. Oh, do I have to hit the?
Yeah, hit that.
All right. So this is the first image. Nice close-up of his face.
Much better than the original. Much better. So Damiani, I remember the characters in the original game looked like wax figures melting to me. Their faces. Now this looks like Shulk, like cleaned up, ready to go. Not waxy Damiani. It reminds me a little more of Xenoblade 2. Like, they don't look the same, but it just invokes it a little more to me. But this is much better than the original.
And then there's another nice close-up right there.
Much better. Much, much better.
All right. Next up.
So far, so good, yeah.
Fiona here.
Yeah, these are good, dude. These character models look so much better. It's like the developers heard me, just my cries out there in the ether about the way the game looked for me. And they're like, oh, here, we'll do exactly what you want, Brad. We'll clean it up for you. And how could I not appreciate that?
Got one more here. I like this shot, though.
Yeah,
so,
this
like
is
them
good.
side by side like this. Yeah. This is good. And like, I agree with you, your vibe. I just want to interject real quick here, Brad. Like, them making it look a little bit more like the Xenoblade Chronicles 2's art style. I'm saying the word anime. It looks more anime thrown around, but
sure, yeah. But it looks just better. Like, it looked bad before. I did not like the way it looked. This just looks better.
Sorry, I'm just getting a clarification on something real quick. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Like, they were just a blurry mess before, dude.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. I was just getting a name clarification. Just want to make sure I didn't say something wrong. All right, we got Ryan here. Ryan time.
Okay. Rhine time. Whoa.
Oh.
I didn't get that in the game.
Okay.
I played like 2 hours.
Nice facial expression right there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Dominic, so a thing for me with the original game was it wasn't just the character models, it was the world. Everything looked super like blurry, I would say, and just like pixelated because, you know, it was a standard def game and the game was so huge. I feel like a lot of the detail just kind of mashed together and looked bad. But this looks a little more defined. Like the plants behind them even look much better than the original.
The vegetation and stuff, I was very impressed by how everything looked, like the detail and stuff in this, especially the future connected shots, the density of the vegetation, like how much was going on. I maybe they just picked a better shot there, but I've been very impressed, very impressed with how the environments look in this game, essentially, in Definitive Edition. This is a good shot. Yeah, like I like the shape, like the detail on the face. I think.
Yeah, it looks good.
Me. You got Dunban here.
Yeah, some Castlevania character right here. Cool, good stuff.
What do you think about the facial hair?
I think it looks pretty good for the Switch hardware and like matching with the art style. I think it looks pretty decent. Like, to me, the character models look like Xenoblade 2 levels, from what I remember, in the amount of like detail and graphic power, I guess you could say. But to me, it looks, definitely improvements.
Got Charlotte next.
Okay. Yeah, these look pretty good. The backgrounds are super blurry. Like right now, I assume that's just because it's like a focus thing. Like
they're doing a depth of field thing. Like the character back here is a little out of focus, and then the backgrounds.
I really need to see how this game like looks when you're walking around. Because Xenoblade, I assume this was in the first game too. Is like huge environments. Like that's like a big thing of the game. I remember. So I'm curious to see how all that looks. But yeah, so far so good. These are pretty solid. She's got like a huge gun.
Got Melia here.
Okay. That hair, dude.
I know.
It's like Cinnabon. But otherwise, I think it looks pretty decent. This one looks a little more rough, this shot.
Okay.
Compared to the last. Like, her face, it looks a little higher resolution than her... Like, her outfit looks pretty low right there, but I don't know. It could just be the screenshot.
And then we got your hero opponent, Ricky, right here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is good. This is all good stuff. What the hell's next to him? Like, that pink? Is it some other character?
I don't know. I forget. I don't know if that's in the village or where. I'm not sure where this is technically. I forget.
Yeah, looks pretty decent. Yeah, looks pretty decent. Like the character, like his thing on his back, whatever, like his stick back, it looks worse. Like definitely a step down from the characters. But it's like it's not that big of a deal.
I'm curious what you think about the face.
Okay.
Just because
his face or that
because it's
face?
Flat, the flatness to it, basically.
Yeah, I think like for what it is though, Damiani, I'm not like disgusted looking at it like I was in the first game. Like I said before, it's not like characters' faces are melting together. There's some definition standing out. But so far, so good, Damiani. I'm pleased what they've done.
So yeah, I'm really happy to hear that you feel a little bit more optimistic and feel have more positive vibes.
I already pre-ordered the game, dude. It's going down.
I'm like happy because we're trying to get Huber to play it.
Oh,
and originally
might be a little harder.
It was the Last of Us 2 was coming out the same day. So Huber's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I'll get to it. And it was delayed, but now we know when it's coming out. It's coming out just like June 9th. So they just announced the release date today, the new one. So that's not too much further back. So I don't know if Huber's going to end up getting to this. So getting you and Huber to play this. So I'm like really happy you were on board, and it's just.
Yeah, I mean, I beat 2, so I kind of owe it to myself to play the first game. I heard people like the first game more than 2. So
I'm really curious what someone like you thinks playing 2 first and then going back to 1. I mean, this could be probably the best version of 1 to play.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to see what you think about it.
Dominic, all I asked for that game was like an HD version of that game, because like I think of Skyward Sword, Damiani. I think that game has a really strong art style, but I think it looks pretty bad, like resolution-wise. It kind of holds it back. I think if it had just high def, it would look so much better. And that carries over to Xenoblade. Like, obviously, they did new character models for this too, which is nice. Because I don't think a lot of that would have translated as well.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that for sure. I do have a patron question though, because obviously I think your opinion might be a little bit more formed once you play 1, and then you have 2 and 1 under your belt. And
sure, yeah.
Maybe you can speak to like the Xenoblade Chronicles series as more of a whole. But we have a patron question from Ricardo. Basically wants to know, on the subject of Xenoblade Chronicles, the first title cemented itself as my favorite video game of all time, so much that they've bought this game 5 times already.
Wow.
And pre-ordered the European Collector's and U.S. Standard Edition.
Wow.
We don't need to get into Collector's Edition stuff, but the U.S. is getting the short end of the stick with this one.
Yeah.
But their question in the panel is this: what's preventing this series from being Nintendo's Final Fantasy? And by that, I mean a multi-million seller blockbuster with worldwide name recognition.
So, I mean, there's only been 2 so far. The first game, or the second game, I think the second game was a good game. I enjoyed my time with it, but it never reached the heights of when I think of like the best JRPGs. I hear this about 1, so I'm very curious about that. But I remember the first game, its release was super weird. It was only at GameStop, I think, physical.
So in North America, there was a campaign to try and bring out here Operation Rainfall, and then eventually when it did come out, it came out almost 2 years after the original Japanese release.
Yeah,
and it was only available through GameStop exclusively or Nintendo's online shop.
Right.
And those are only 2 ways.
So that holds it back. Get it. I don't know. I don't think it was digital at the time either, was it?
No, the digital release didn't happen until Wii U when they added the Wii version to the eShop.
Right. That's right.
Get that a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think I think you hit it right on the nose though, that there's only been a few entries officially. There's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then there's Xenoblade Chronicles X, which
I forgot about X. X is like weird though, isn't it?
We don't need to get into the whole thing about the shared universe arguments and like evidence, basically that all the Xeno games might. I was
gonna say, is this like Xenosaga?
Well, Xenosaga, Xenogears, like there's a lot of evidence that shows they might be part of like a shared universe. There's some spoiler stuff I don't want to get into that alludes to how that's all possible, but I think that's part of the thing is there is a long history with the Xeno series.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's just been spread out different systems, different stuff under different.
It hasn't been
flags.
As easy as Final Fantasy just being like 1, 2, 3.
And then when we specifically talk about Xenoblade Chronicles, the Nintendo era for Monolith Soft, I think what you got so right, what I was alluding to at the beginning, was that there's only been a few entries. There's only been two in the Chronicles, and then X is its own thing. And whether or not they're connected, there's theories about that too and stuff. I think it's maybe if they make like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 4,
they'll just keep getting better.
They're just gonna keep. I think Nintendo just has to keep supporting it because the original Final Fantasies, we only got 1 on NES here originally, and then they skipped to 4, 2 here on Super Nintendo. I don't think it was till like 6 that it really was a breakout series.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it wasn't like it's kind of insane to compare it to Final Fantasy in almost regard, because when 7 came out, like
Then yeah,
it was just like you have to like change the genre almost to get like to a Final Fantasy level at a point. Like I'm not saying Xenoblade can't do that, but it just hasn't yet.
yeah. I mean, and to be fair, the the thing that's started all of this off, this like journey to where we are today. People like to say Xenogears was a SquareSoft game.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it didn't rise through the ranks to become
Well,
like another. I know it
that
had its
game
issues.
has some yeah.
It has its issues. I mean, but then when
People
I went
still
to
love it, yeah.
but then when I went to Namco with Xenosaga, they were trying to make that a big thing, and it also, there were some issues there too.
Did they do the Dot Hack games too?
Who?
Namco. I feel like those games were coming out around the same time. I know they're completely different, but I always just had like the same vibe of those two or those two series. I don't know why.
It is Bandai Namco has the Dot Hack games, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to like click on like any one of them to see development. CyberConnect 2 has been usually associated with them.
Okay.
And yeah, some developers from some other JRPGs and MMOs came and worked on them. But yeah, it's basically been that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Nintendo keeps treating Xenoblade like a big deal, I think that'll help if they keep supporting it, which it seems like they are, because like this is the third version of this game, I guess.
Yeah, because they had the 3DS version.
Yeah, so
probably maybe the worst version. I don't know. I didn't play it enough.
I was kind of sad when that came out. I was like, oh man, just put it on a console.
I know. I have it on my new 3DS because it was a new 3DS exclusive. Because I want to run on OG 3DS.
Yeah, that's right.
I just played it for a little bit, but I never went. That's not the way I want to play it.
Sure,
handheld mode, like that small of a screen. Switch portable, different story maybe.
A little bigger,
yeah. But yeah. Just a fun thing I wanted to play, but also this game, but also, I think Nintendo just needs to keep supporting this. And maybe that will give it its best chance. But also, as you said, Brad, I don't know if Xenoblade Chronicles will ever be able to approach the level of success Final Fantasy has.
I mean, not a lot of games will do that, period.
Yeah. You had a Final Fantasy VII moment. Zelda had like its Ocarina of Time moment. Yeah. Some of these biggest series have these moments, and they're hard to replicate. So. Yeah.
Really, to me, it doesn't even need to be that big, though. As long as the quality is there, I think people will be happy and keep playing them.
I feel like Xenoblade it is something that Nintendo has started to really embrace and promote, and the brand is growing. And I think what I'd like to see it approach is maybe more like Fire Emblem levels, because Fire Emblem's pretty big now.
Yeah.
But even Fire Emblem's still not like Final Fantasy levels.
So if you want to get bigger, you got to add shipping stuff into it, just like Fire Emblem. All of the connections between characters. That's what people want.
Well, there are bonds in Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, I remember some bonds in 2. But like, we got to pick dates. You got to take the characters out and do all that stuff.
They need a mobile gacha game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Xenoblade Chronicles coming May 29th. I always get that date wrong. We've alluded to it on past episodes before, but there'll probably be a big talk about that game once a bunch of us get to play it.
I'm stoked because you love it, Ben loves it, Bloodworth loves it. So it's like, man, I got to play this.
But we are here today to talk about Castlevania, specifically Castlevania 2. Originally for the Nintendo Entertainment System, follow-up to original Castlevania. I want to open this up, Brad, by saying why I felt compelled to do this.
Sure.
So, in my notes here, I was thinking about it. I was like, what? Let me walk me through the steps of how I got to this point. It was basically after watching season 3 of Castlevania on Netflix. After watching that, I just was reading a bunch of stuff in Castlevania and said to myself, man, I really need to play the other original, like NES ones. I played through the original. I've played Super Castlevania, but of the old ones, I've never really touched. I think I've played a few minutes of 2. Always would like walk around the town, go right one screen, and be like, okay, this sucks or something like that.
Right.
And then I don't think I ever touched 3. So I had this desire to play it, and I bought the Castlevania Anniversary Collection for Switch. I think it might have also been on sale at the time as part of like the Castlevania Season 3 promotional stuff. So I went through and I played through 1, 2, and 3 again. And I specifically wanted to talk about 2, Brad, because this game is such a radical departure from the first game, and also a radical departure from like most of the rest of the 2D series. For like the foreseeable future, like maybe later. I mean, it's not even like, I wouldn't even call it a Metroidvania. It's not that at all. It's just something different. And it felt so, that the discussions around it felt so analogous to Zelda 2, which I saw a few similarities here and there, but the fact that it was such a departure for a sequel. And my goal was, I heard how frustratingly hard and cryptic this game was. And I'm always curious about how people who never played the old Zelda games, especially 1 and 2, go back and play them. I can't have that experience of like, how challenging are they really if you try and play them in 2020 with no help? Is it really that bad? Like the design that bad? So I tried to beat it with no help. And I will say I got stuck and needed a hint on what one item did. And once I was told what that did, I was on my way. It took me several hours to beat it, Brad.
Yeah, sure.
So what's your experience with this game, Brad?
2. So I played 2 when I was very young, and I gave up on it or whatever. I didn't know what to do at the time. This was when I was probably like 6 or something like that, or 5. Then I think in junior high, I went back to it and actually played through the whole game and beat it. And my memory of the game was not great. I'm really a fan of 2. Then when the collection came out, I went through and I played through the trilogy again, and I played through 2, and I was like, okay, let's go through 2 again. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember. Still not a fan.
So
still don't care about it.
All right. I will say, having played it blind, there's a lot of design flaws with this game. It's definitely a product of its time.
Yes, absolutely.
This would not fly you. Even if any game was going for this style, I think just like I would admit, like the original, like maybe the original Zelda and Zelda 2 might need a few tweaks here and there to give a little bit more information and feedback to the player to be a little bit more fair. I became a little bit obsessed with this game, Brad.
Sure. Yeah.
I was doing. I think I've played through it at least 10 times now.
10.
And I mean, it's something. It's like it's something. If I just like am bored and need something to do for like an hour, I'll just jump in and play it. And there was even a point where I was trying to beat it without dying. I will say I was able to beat it without getting a game. There's not a game over in this game. I should explain some basics for our listeners who aren't too familiar with this game. So as I was saying there's not really a game over in this game. You have 3 lives, but when you die, you anytime you die, you just get reset on the screen you're on. You get sent back to the beginning of the screen, or like a safe spot on the screen when you die. And when you lose all your lives and you do get a game over and you start in the same spot of that screen, but there's a currency. There are these hearts you collect from enemies. And it just treat it like money. It's used to buy stuff, but it's also used to level up. So unlike the original Castlevania, these aren't linear. That's not linear levels. It is, you can go left or right. You start in a town, you can go left or right, and as you get to the edge of the screen, it'll load a new screen. And these are linear paths you're still going to go down. Some have like a staircase you can go up or down to choose, like going like there's like one, or there's a few branching paths. But in general, it's all about like making headway. You can't progress past the part, maybe go back and get something. So it's kind of like the prototype of Metroidvania stuff. But I mean, Metroid already existed.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in between Metroidvania and like level based, if there's like a half step towards that. But other important things real quick, it has a day-night cycle. This is pretty important. I found it really annoying at first because you want to just explore, Brad. You just want to go out and explore, and then it's like every amount of time it will switch, and you have this stupid dialogue box that interrupts you and says like the infamous line about what a terrible night to have a curse and stuff. Yeah. And then like the morning light has like, so vanquish the horrible, blah blah blah. So it interrupts it, but mechanically, from a design perspective, enemies become like twice. They
They're
do
harder,
twice
at
the
night.
damage or take twice the amount of hits to kill. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes it harder at night, and the
Shops
music
are closed
changes.
too.
Yeah, the towns, you can't enter any of the stuff in the towns, and then there are also undead neon green looking like
the
zombie
Banshees,
things
yeah.
that just stroll around that you have to kill or look out for as well. So that was I think that's kind of unique for that time, doing and there's a timer in the menu that kind of shows you, it tells you every 22 in-game minutes or something like that, it's going to change, and so you can have a heads up. I think for a newcomer, it's a little too quick and a little frustrating, but it does play an important role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep going. I want to hear it
sorry.
all.
The important role it plays because the other awesome thing about this game, it has multiple endings.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 endings, and it depends on how many days it takes you to beat Dracula or to beat the game. Essentially, you have there were conflicting reports on different sites, but from the best I can understand, you have if you beat it within 5 to 7 days, and I think also maybe deaths or game overs factor in, you get the best ending. Then there's if you take more than that, but less than 14 days or 20 days or something, you get the normal ending, and then there's a bad ending.
Mm-hmm.
And on my first playthrough, I got the normal ending, which is, hey, you were successful, but... So the premise of this game, we should back up.
Yeah, sure.
The premise of this game is it is a direct sequel. It is a direct sequel to Castlevania. You are still Simon Belmont. But they're Dracula, you've been cursed by Dracula, essentially. You're going to die unless you find a way to remove this curse. You're slowly rotting and stuff from the inside. And you need to basically recollect the 5 parts of Dracula to reassemble him and then permanently destroy him so that you can lift the curse. In the normal ending, you do destroy him, but you weren't in time to lift the curse, so you still are going to die. You're eventually going to die.
Yeah.
So you're in front of this tombstone, and oh, it's time to go die. And I think in the worst ending, you are dead, and Dracula's going to rise again and stuff like that. And in the best ending, you do lift the curse, and has a little cool tease at the end, when you leave the Dracula's tombstone, a hand pops out from the ground and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so day-night thing, I think now, though, Brad, it isn't as bad for me. Now I have expected spots where it's it should change about here, it should change about there. It's not that bad. But the weird thing, a really bad thing to deal with in terms of a new player jumping into this, what is one thing when you talk to NPCs and get information, it's kind of like a staple of any game in terms of learning what to do and learning clues and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are NPCs in this game that lie to you.
Yeah.
They don't tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So you can go investigating a clue, and it's not real, and you're just what the hell? Now, couple that with the fact that some of this is this cryptic localization nonsense from back in the day.
Yeah.
And you can tell why this would get really frustrating fast.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have Nintendo Power at the time.
Yeah, you need that Nintendo Power, call that Power hotline. I wonder... It'd be really cool to talk to someone who did the localization of this. Was this on purpose or because some are just out there are actually some truths that aren't totally correct and vice versa in terms of the localization. But that was an experience, Brad, because I talking to NPCs and stuff, I'm just so curious, and they'd say all this weird stuff, dude. There's a 6th tree or something. There's a burning fire. I'm what are you talking about?
What the hell are you talking about? Yeah.
But there are crazy things in this game, Brad.
Yeah.
I think the craziest moment was going to the edge of a map, which is supposed to be a cliff, and kneeling down with a certain gemstone.
Yeah.
And it summons a whirlwind.
Yep.
And it warps you to another spot. What?
Super weird. But cool. The idea of it's cool.
Yeah.
So, that's my problem with this game, or a lot of my problems with this game, is there's really cool ideas. I don't have a problem with things changing, but just so how much of it executed to me is not good. And hold on. I should let you finish before I just really get into this.
Oh no, go ahead because like I want.
Well,
I want
I'm
you
gonna
to
go. I'm just
through.
gonna talk about like everything what I don't like about this.
Oh yeah,
game.
no, go ahead because like I mean I would just want to riff off of that, like what I
Oh,
liked
okay.
and didn't like. I mean I don't need to give like any more of the
So
overview.
I'm way cool with the idea of exploring this area. You know, kind of like feeling like you're on a quest, finding all these pieces and everything. Like, but one thing I really love about Castlevania games is the environments. And this game there's like 3 environments the entire freaking game. Like the forest, the mansion, and like some caves. Oh man, okay. There's like 3 boss fights in this game, and they all suck. They're bad.
Yeah.
And you can kind of just walk by them. Like they're not a challenge. They're really boring. The mansions, dude, suck. They're so boring. They're just the same design, just with a different color palette. They're not interesting to go through. The hidden blocks, Damiani. I hate the hidden blocks, dude.
So yeah, the mansions. Let me start with the mansions and bosses there. Let's talk about that for a second. So I was after the first dungeon, like the first mansion. It's just in plain sight. Like you're just gonna go right. You'll eventually come across it. There's like an invisible. There's an invisible platform. If you don't have like the white gem, you won't see it, but it's still there.
Right.
You don't even need it. I found out, which is kind of fun to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
But like it has like the original NES Castlevania. The whole thing about if you walk too far on a screen and walk back, enemies will reload. That was kind of like a rite of passage, like troll challenge thing that made it harder. And this thing, it actually ends up just being like dumb and frustrating.
Because you have to backtrack a lot more.
But it can be used to be farmed. So
yeah.
But let me speak to your point real quick. Sorry. The actual mansions, like you go inside, they look like these not brick, but like these stone block temple things that like look more like a Zelda 2 temple.
Yeah.
And even Zelda 2's temples look more like have more atmosphere and better
more
theme coherency. These are just like weird block puzzle. Like there's not a lot of platforming. It's going up a bunch of stairs. It's basically, you got to figure out a path forward, and there are a lot of hidden block things where you're going to use. There's an item called the Holy Water in this game. Once you buy it, it's infinite. Yeah. A lot of the other items you buy use up your heart currency. So hearts are pretty much for everything in this game.
Yeah.
But the Holy Water is infinite. So you get into like Zelda 1 style bombing, trying to bomb walls. You don't know which one to bomb. You're just like throwing out holy waters and everything. And then
you're doing this like the whole game too.
And it's hilarious, Brad, how I think 3 of the 5 manors, they're called manors, I believe. 3 of the 5 of them are extremely short once you know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they don't feel that fun, honestly. They felt overwhelming at first and a little intimidating, but knowing their tricks, they aren't that great. Also, you have to track down an NPC in each of them and buy oak steak to break the orb at the end of each dungeon to get the item. But like bad programming, you can like miss, you can throw, or if you break it and get it and leave, the orb can come back. So I can see it'd be confusing, but if you don't have enough currency, you're like, I'm screwed, gotta leave and stuff. So it's I don't know how.
It's like, I mean, even when you break the orb, dude, you gotta walk out of the dungeon.
Yeah, you gotta backtrack. That's part of the. I mean,
it's just like, a
few of them have the shortcuts back, but a lot of them, there's 2 in particular. One has a really freaking lengthy backtrack, and it's meant to be annoying and stuff. But Brad, real quick, your point about the bosses. You won't like one of the most iconic boss fights in Castlevania is Death. And Death is in here, and he's throwing scythes and shit at you and stuff. Well, you don't have to beat him. You just walk under him, go to the next room. There's the orb, and you break it, and he can leave and go back under him.
Yep.
It's not required. I was like, wait, what?
Do you have to fight Carmela? I don't remember.
You do. So you need the cross because that lets you break the bridge blocks. Okay. To go to Dracula's castle. But even that fight, just like the pattern for her, she just moves in a circle. You just hit her, and then she'll stop at the pinnacle sometimes and drop down fire orbs, and you can just like stand there and dodge them or hold up your shield because each orb that you break at the end of a dungeon gives you a part of Dracula.
Yeah,
and each of these have like a unique ability or a use. The most useful one is like the rib, the bone looking one, because it gives you a shield that will reflect projectiles. And again, like Carmilla is just like you just stand there, hit her when she moves around in a circle, doesn't attack you while she's moving in a circle, and then like her one attack, you just sit there and block it. So there's like no skill, no innovation. It's very boring and straightforward. It doesn't even come close to the tension and the intimidation factor of the original game or pretty much any of the games. The Dracula fight is probably the only one that has some challenge to it. But Brad, there's an item in this game called laurels that make you temporary invincibility.
Yeah.
And if you bring to those fight or any fight, you just pop them and you just can like spam.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dungeons, the manners are a little underwhelming. I think the challenge is figuring out how to get to the rest of them. That's like the biggest puzzle aspect, and then like figuring out how to like progress in them with like the block puzzle, invisible blocks or blocks you can break. It's a combination of that stuff. It's weird.
I don't have a problem with the idea of doing that stuff. I just feel like it's very tedious actually doing it because it just takes like forever to get from one side of the map to the other. A lot of the game is the same. So you're like, I don't really know where the hell I am kind of thing right now. Like even the towns look pretty much the same. Some of them just have like water in different areas, I guess.
Yeah, they're very similar. Like, I mean, it's also a product of its time. Like NES games, there are some limitations.
Here's the thing, though, that makes when I think of this, when I compare this game to Zelda 2 or something like that, what I think was really smart of Zelda 2 to actually have was the world map. You could kind of go out and explore, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is where I am actually in the game. I know where I am now." Instead of Castlevania, where you're just like, "Oh, okay, did I miss it 4 screens back?"
Brad, that's such a good point because this game needed a map. This game desperately needed a map.
If it had a map, I think it would have
helped. There is an artwork of an official map. Like it almost looks like Zelda 2 style's official map art. It's really cool style. But I was like, this is how the layout of everything is. Whoa! Because you're only going left or right on the world map, like the screens on the world. But you don't really get a sense of which the game's trying to make you think you could travel more than like 2 directions, to get to this spot. I think that's a big disconnect, and I think it hurts the. It's not just the immersion; it just hurts like your bearings sometimes to figure out. Especially once you get whirlwinded away, you're like, "Where am I?" When you go left and right, you're so lost. First, it's so confusing, and I think it hurts that there wasn't enough done to differentiate between some locales, especially the towns. Because even in Zelda 2, there's like a desert town.
There's desert. There's like the swamp
some
area.
Subtle things they do that let you know you are in a different town in a different area. I kind of agree with you with that. It's just like a guilty pleasure of mine, like going through those and stuff.
Sure,
it's like that. The other thing is the areas I hate the most, Brad, are the swamps. Those stupid things. There's at least 2 parts in the game that you have to go through where you have to trudge through swamp water, which slows you down. And there are enemies that fire projectiles hidden in them and stuff. So it's meant to just be it's basically like an equivalent of dot. Like your HP is just ticking away, just melting away. And if you don't have those laurels, you they're meant to be deterrents for you're not supposed to get past this part until you have this item and stuff. And it's the screams. I mean, it's NES style. A lot of games of this trick, but man, is it if you don't have that item, it's just these long bogs, and I hate it. I wish they could have done something else with those parts. They're my least favorite parts of the swamps.
Yeah, my biggest disappointment in this game is just the environments. Coming from just one where you have so many, going through the castle, how everything feels super different in the castle each stage, and this just kind of all the same throughout. I feel like it was a huge step back. The platforming is just non-existent almost, I would say, compared to one.
So there's some shenanigans with the platforming. So there is platforming in this game.
Let's say platforming is at an 8 in 1. This is at a 2 or a 3 maybe.
They don't. Yeah, there's a lot of. So they do some really questionable things, I will say. Especially in the manners. There are some jumps where you have to be over the edge. You'll be low and you have to jump up to a high spot, and it's a really challenging jump to do on the fly. And even doing it slowly, it's very easy. You'll clip the wall and you'll be sent back down and die basically.
Yeah.
But on the overworld, there are a few parts where there are these moving blocks.
There's above the water.
There's some janky physics here, and I figured it out. When they're moving down, your jump trajectory will be very short. when they're moving up,
Oh,
it like
it's
kind of gives you a
further.
boost. So like you got to figure that out, and it's
Yeah.
very brutal. I mean, you can make it on like without that, but it's like the window for some of these jumps, if you don't know what you're doing, is very brutal, and borderline unfair. Like I think a
Yeah.
lot of this game is just will feel unfair to a newcomer. But I to your point about the environments, I still like the concept of what this game was trying to do in
Yeah.
terms of exploring like a world,
Yeah. I don't
going
have
to
a problem
different
with the
villages.
concept.
It just loses so much. Like that, they throw out names,
You're
and
like,
like you
what is this?
until you get like the fire ability, which is even needed to beat the game. It's
Mm-hmm.
like in one of the caves, you got to go like down and to the left, and then like you break up these 2 blocks. You step in there, and an old man just appears out of nowhere. It's like,
Yeah,
here's the
right.
gift of fire. Like, yeah, there's like you can't like read the signs on towns, I think, until you have that or some item. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't even know when they keep talking about the names of forests and these villages. Like, wait, what is what? There's nothing here. Whereas in Zelda 2, there's a sign at the front that says town
Yeah.
of whatever here, and the map, as you said, the overall map really helps like with your bearings. I think that's
Yeah.
just the missing ingredient that would have made this a
It would
little
have
bit more
helped a lot,
manageable.
for sure.
But there's like that cryptic stuff, man. They really pushed the edge of cryptic.
Yeah.
Like going to a certain few spots and have to drop a garlic, and then an old person teleports out of nowhere. It's like, here's a blade, a silver dagger that you can now use, and like here's. I think if you beat death, you get like a gold dagger. Like there's these daggers. Like what do they
Mm-hmm.
do? And then you go into some houses and in the towns, and there's like they all look the same. The rooms all look the same. I mean, same thing with like older games.
Yes.
Even Zelda 2 does this.
Yeah.
But you got to break blocks, and sometimes they're in the middle, sometimes on the edge, and there might be an NPC down there who sells you stuff. There might just be a crazy lunatic down there who just spouts nonsense. It's kind of fun. Then like, what are you gonna get down there?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like there's some appeal to it, but at the same time, know what you're getting into.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
it's a. I feel like there's a little bit more rhyme and reason to some other games than this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like Castlevania 2 just kind of drifted away from what I loved about Castlevania, at least with 1. Obviously, they went back to it, but like the great stages, going to the stages, the different environments. There's like a decent amount of monsters I remember in 2, but like there's not a lot of cool boss fights. There's 3. They all pretty bad.
Like the lack of compelling boss fights. The fact that even each manor doesn't even have
like
one.
Every manor should have something at the end,
and it should be required to progress to the orb. I mean, I think it's a bold choice to be like, hey, this is optional. You do not have to do this stuff. Again, like there's just a lot of potential and concepts in here that
there's like a lot of cool concepts in this game, but they don't pan out well.
And it was definitely an interesting experiment. Like buying stuff. Like there's 2 things in here that was when it comes to like currency and buying stuff. Your whip. You don't get. I mean, the original all the other games you like basically
just get
like a candle or something. It drops like the improvement, and you level up to like your best cane, your whip. Sorry, and this one you got to buy them. And it's interesting because you can ignore some of them and like save up and just buy like the best one, and that will like supersede everything else. You can accidentally buy inferior ones, and it will give you the inferior one and override your old one, which is kind of funny.
Man. Yeah,
but I kind of like how there's the regular whip, there's the thorn whip, there's the chain whip, and then there's Morningstar. Huh?
Is there flame whip too?
And then there's the flame one. Yeah. When you find the NPC, he'll like go, I'll give you the power to burn away evil, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But like they feel almost essential because each manor, the damage required to kill base enemies feels like it doubles each time.
It goes up.
So like if you like, there's enough whips to counter that, and I kind of like that encouragement. But at the same time, like your own skill, if you feel like you're good enough, you could get through those. I mean, that part I did like, actually. The items the trading sequence with the gems, so like the white gem is needed to reveal platforms in the first manor. Then you need the blue gem to lower the water levels, another kneeling thing. That was kind of cool, like lowering the water. And you go underwater or underground and stuff like that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. I like the idea of upgrading the whip and stuff.
There's just a lot of optional stuff in there, and some of that stuff I don't know how much easier. I think the flame thing was kind of nice because it holds things in place for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the other stuff has better range. Like obviously, like the daggers have range, but man, like I felt satisfied and content with just like a whip him for
Sure,
most of
yeah.
this game. It's
I
kind of
think
weird. Whereas the other, like basically I'm trying to say, like the Castlevania 1, I felt those secondary weapons, those items were essential. Like very essential.
Castlevania 2 is definitely the easiest out of the original trilogy. Like not figuring out what to do, but like going through and fighting enemies is by far the easiest one.
I think the only way you die in that game is when you know what to do.
You slip on a block or
something.
you
fall off on a dumb thing, or you're just too aggressive and you don't like buy the right items.
Mm-hmm.
Like the swamps, basically. For me, it's the swamps. Like I'll try and just like make them through without that, and it's like maybe you should have gone and bought that thing. That's why you're gonna die right now.
Yeah,
like it's strategic deaths because you do get your full health back. And the last thing I think we didn't mention is there are levels in this game for your character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you collect a certain amount of hearts, you will increase your life bar essentially, and that makes things way easier.
That definitely the Zelda 2 thing right there.
Mm-hmm. But the music, the daytime theme is
Bloody Tears.
Bloody Tears.
Mm-hmm.
Nice rendition, and then the nighttime is like
that was the first introduction of it.
That song like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think 2 has some decent music or some good music actually.
I don't know about the Manor music though.
Dude, I don't remember it. It's probably not even good.
I thought it was okay. I love the music that plays leading up to like when you're in Dracula's castle.
Okay, I like that part of the game, going through the castle when it's like
that
ruined.
Brooding music.
There's nothing there, but it's really cool
because you think there's gonna be shit there. You're
Mm-hmm.
like my first time going through, I was like, okay, what crazy shit am I gonna get into now? Like, what enemies await me? And you're just walking through. It's like, am I going to go through the whole castle again? Like, what is this? And then you just come to like, it's the Dracula fight,
mm-hmm.
and it felt like a Ninja Gaiden fight.
Yeah,
he starts hurling out tons of scythes, and he starts like teleporting all over the.
Dude,
like,
I thought it was Death the first time because
Death too.
I think of Dracula from 1 to that. And just like completely different, like throwing the scythe too. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?"
It does not feel like a Dracula style Castlevania fight at all. It is.
I looked up the Manor song. That song is sick.
Okay, so you do like it?
Yeah, that song.
All right.
Cool. The game I think has good music.
Doesn't have too many tracks, if I recall.
No,
but I mean,
not a lot. But they're cool.
Those earlier games didn't. It has a password system.
Mm-hmm.
The first game didn't have that, right?
Right.
It didn't start till 2. Yeah. So that was kind of nice because it didn't have like a save system, so there's no like battery back save. So at least you could retain your progress. And again, the penalty for game over is you lose all of your heart currency. Mm-hmm. So again, sometimes it felt strategic. Like I've just spent all my stuff. I'm good. I only have like a handful. I'm about to start a really hard stretch. I'm just gonna die real quick and reset my lives and stuff. Yeah. Like it's not that bad. I think that was actually a good choice to do. I'm sorry, the riverboat guy. I just popped into my head because you need to like. There's this riverboat dude who you're told about who'll take you across the river to another side of the of the world. And if you just talk to him normally, he's like, "Sure, I'll take you to a good place."
Yeah, he
just like takes you back and forth, and then if you show him Dracula's heart, he's like, "Let me show you the way," and he like takes you to like another manor, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But there's these like 2 like merman things that pop up as you travel each time, and like they just don't hit you. I think they're there to jump scare you to make you try and like react and maybe get hit by them by accident and fall off. But like the dude, like the dialogue for that part was just like he's like this troll riverboat person. I was like, what? Some dumb thing. I did some dumb things though for those clues, Brad. Someone told me to meet them at midnight by the riverside. Some lady. I was just like sitting there forever at night, like kept coming back at night, like, are you gonna show up? Am I just being dumb right now? How does this work? And I was like, oh, there are NPCs who lie. Yeah. This is probably one of those instances.
Yep.
One small final minor issue with the game is toggling between items in the menu. You have 2 rows. You have your like key items. that can do things like the rib can give you the shield, and then you have like your sub weapon ones like the laurels, the stakes, and when you use up all of one, it doesn't show the cursor there anymore. So like I would be confused as to which line my cursor was on to switch. So I'd always early on I'd accidentally switch the wrong row, which would or it would default to another item and I didn't realize it. I would accidentally use shit I didn't mean to use, and it was like, no, I just wasted that. Like really frustrating about that. Whereas like other games, they clearly show you the cursor at all times.
Definitely.
It was a bit of a misstep there, in my opinion.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, Castlevania 2.
An interesting game.
Yeah, unique experiment of a game.
I definitely encourage people to try it out and see if it's for you or not.
Yeah, I would try playing it for as long as you can without any help and stuff to see how like ridiculous these types of games are. But then like look up a guide and just like read them only as much as you need for a little bit more direction and try it that way, because I did feel a good amount of satisfaction finally beating it the first time. I was like, yeah, I beat this kind of hard. Cryptic NES game. This feels good.
Yeah.
And then I went on to play Castlevania 3. And I was like, wow, this is much better.
Yeah, much harder too.
Oh yeah, I mean, talk about branching paths, recruiting. Brad, so I'll say this, but we're not doing a Castle 3 talk, but I do want to say this. I finally made the damn connection between this and Bloodstain, or not Bloodstain. The circle. What is the freaking NES style one?
Curse of the Moon.
Curse of the Moon. Jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
I never made that connection because I never played 3 before.
Yeah.
And when I was playing through 3, I was just like, "Yo, this is Curse of the Moon." Oh, I get it now. Yeah, recruiting characters, they come and go. I was like multiple paths, and that had a world map. Had the world map. That's like all Castlevania 2 needed was that type of world
it would have
map.
helped a lot, big time. So you've beaten 1, you've beaten 2. You have you beat 3 yet?
I beat it with a Sypha. So I did that, and then I started a bit of a new game plus with them, and I got to a part where I got glitched, I think. So you know the part, there's a sequence where there's rising water, and there's a boss fight at the end of it, and the water could keep rising, and you can die during the fight.
Is it like the Hydra thing, the Hydra boss, or is that a different game?
I forget what it was at this point, but the orb that drops can drop into the water. So I was using the save state stuff to like this at this point because it was getting a little frustrating.
Sure, yeah.
And I save stated it so that on the probably the last possible frame I could get the orb and still live. But when it loaded the next level, nothing worked. I couldn't hit any of the item candles. Hit detection for like the edge of the screen wasn't working.
Oh no.
And I got to a part where there's supposed to be a jump you make, and I hit an invisible wall, and it'd do like portal effect, or I keep falling up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, and like I couldn't get out of it. I was
man, that's brutal.
So I think I glitched something by not beating the level before correctly. So I gave up there. So I might go back and try and play through all the paths at some point.
Sure.
But I did beat it once with Sypha and stuff like that. Saw that.
Have you played 4?
Oh, Super Castlevania?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I played the most.
Okay, it's very good.
It's probably, I has a very, very big place in my heart. I mean, I know Rondo Blood and Symphony of the Night get most of the praise.
Oh, no, dude, 4 is like one of the best.
4 for me is just like, this is so fun.
Have you played Rondo Blood?
Okay. I played through Rondo Blood. I played through Symphony of the Night. The PSP Castlevania collection thing.
Yeah,
I played through that version
Rondo
as well.
remake.
Played through all that, and I played through Castlevania 64.
Okay, yeah.
But I have not played the other Castlevania 64.
What was it? It's not Curse of Darkness. It's Legacy of Darkness, maybe? It might be Legacy of Darkness.
Castlevania 64-2. Let's go with 64-2. Legacy of Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah. I never played that one, and I never played any of the PS2 ones. I did not play Lords of Shadow or Lords of Shadow.
Oh, really?
Nope.
I like the PS2 ones, but they're like the first one I would say is like a flat 7, and the second one is like a 6.
Okay,
but they're still cool. Especially 3 or Curse of Darkness is the sequel to 3. So that's where you're Isaac in that game. Or no, Hector. Hector and Isaac were in it, though.
Okay. I think I've played maybe one of the Game Boy or DS ones. I can't remember which.
Oh, the Metroidvania ones?
Yeah, I played at least one of those,
Dawn of Sorrow?
maybe. And trying to think
Aria
if there's any other.
Sorrow?
Oh,
Circle of Moon?
well, in the collection. No, in the collection. What is that weird style one in
The Kid Dracula one?
Oh, I played through Kid Dracula.
Oh, okay.
I did play through that. That was
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? There's like some goofy Capcom style,
Yeah.
like Mega Man like game. No, the more like Genesis TurboGrafx style
Oh,
one.
Bloodlines?
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's the Genesis one.
dude, that one was insane.
Yeah, that one's sick.
There was one where like they invert the controls at one point or flip upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was digging that one. That was hard too.
That one's fun. Yeah.
But
yeah, man, there's a ton of them.
I feel like there's still a few I need to like definitely play through.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to see what you think about Lords of Shadow. The 2 games. Well, there's 3.
Oh, I think I played the handheld one.
Mirror of Fate, I think it's called, or something like
So
that.
I either did a preview or gameplay for it at Game Trailers. I did something with Mirror of Fate.
Okay.
I was not impressed by Mirror of Fate.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so worried about Metroid 2, the remake.
Oh, sure.
Mercury Steam was handling that as well. I was like, don't know about this, but it turned out to be okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I have a question, a Castlevania related question from Morgan Mahala.
Mm-hmm.
With the success of the Netflix show and the recent re-releases of Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, what do you expect is next for the Castlevania franchise? More collection releases? A new game release? Could Konami possibly consider licensing the franchise or even selling it?
All of that is possible. I would love if they gave the license out to someone or someone else made it or whatever. I could see a collection of the Metroidvania games because we haven't gotten that, like all the Game Boy Advanced ones.
Mm-hmm.
The DS ones, I wonder how they would do because some of them had touchscreen stuff.
Well, did you see how Mega Man ZX collection handled it?
I didn't see the touchscreen
stuff. I haven't played it, but I watched the trailer. I watched videos. They basically emulate a side screen that's supposed to be like the touch inputs on like a side panel.
Okay.
Like there's like a little bit of a crop on the width. I think the Game Boy resolution isn't enough to fill up the Switch screen anyway, or the DS resolution. So they put the game full frame as much as they can. And on the side, you can move a cursor or use the D-pad or to select the stuff that was originally on the touch screen. So they emulate it that way. So maybe they can do something like that if that would work.
That would be sick. I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
I would love Castlevania to come back, like a brand new game. Like that's not a pachinko machine or something. Like a real legit game. Like that would be awesome. But I don't know. When it's in Konami's hands, like collections, yeah, that's definitely possible.
I mean, we saw the rumors about Silent Hills getting a reboot and Konami working with like Sony and like potentially even like licensing or potentially selling the franchise to Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's really happening with that? But the same thing, like Castlevania, I mean, we've listed off before several developers. I think 3D, you want From Software for like a 3D Castlevania.
Yeah, 3D is what I want the most.
2D, I'd be like, give it to Yacht Club or give it to...
Oh, sure. Like they would all... Yeah, Yacht Club would do an awesome job with that.
Yeah, Team Cherry or something like that. Like give it to one of them who've proven themselves with those recent...
Team Cherry, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Bloodstained definitely helps, like help that craving I have for like gothic horror Metroidvanias, which is great. Like I love that, but I definitely want like a 3D Castlevania game again.
Yeah, and the reason I think about 3D Castlevania potential is just like, I mean, obviously we have like the templates from like the FromSoft games, but looking back at Castlevania 2, that concept in 3D. Better realize like that's the world you're exploring, because you can't just do like the Metroidvania or level based 1-to-1. You got to think of a different hook. And I've seen the challenges that Castlevania is trying to deal with in the 3D space, and just brainstorming ideas. That's what I'd love to see. It's just
I mean, yeah,
take that concept and apply it to
just
a
make
new
it
3D installment.
just make it a we're gonna throw this out, just Breath of the Wild. Like, you're in this world, you go to different like temples that are like evil places, I guess. You go there, and the final thing is Castlevania, but I want the castle to be kind of long. I don't want it to be like super short.
I would be cool with the premise. So this is a premise people didn't like in this game that I'm gonna mention, but maybe it could work here. So in Phantom Hourglass, you had that dungeon, Temple of the Ocean King, that you could
return to it.
You return to it, but like, what if they did a thing where like Castlevania is you can only progress so far through it? Like no, gosh, Tartarus or whatever, like Persona stuff. Like, you can only go so deep or whatever.
Then you gotta come back out.
You gotta come back out. But like, what if it's more about challenge? Or you don't have a certain item and it's like you can't figure out how to progress, so go explore out in the world again and find something that could help you out.
Like maybe let's say you do something in the world and it unlocks a part of the castle, like you unlock like the armory or something like that, and you beat that section of the castle, then you have to come back out to get something out in the world to get another key to the other part of the castle or something.
I mean, it's a concept I've wanted this Game Cup for a while, about the open world, and there's like a singular thing or like dungeons that require you to. That's why you're exploring the overworld. Like, you need stuff from the overworld to deal with these dungeon type environments. And
totally.
This could be it. If Zelda's not going to do it, maybe Castlevania will do it.
Yeah,
It'd be
maybe.
Awesome. Yeah.
I doubt it, but I would love it.
Would be excited.
I doubt it.
The
secret of a Castlevania fan is to have your expectations very low, so when something happens, it feels good.
Okay. I've got one last patron question, though.
Okay.
It's not really. We're going to move on from Castlevania, so our Castlevania talk is now concluded.
Closed.
It was good stuff, though. Thank you for. I just want someone to talk with Castlevania 2 about, because I was so fascinated by it.
I like that you enjoyed that game.
This is a weird, it was. I was just getting enjoyment from it, despite like the negativity I think that we had about a lot of the elements. Because it's mostly just a product of its time. It's like an older ass NES game trying to play it in 2020, but at the same time that could captivate me like that. That still speaks to something about its potential. But our last question comes from Project Dad, or Project DAD, with the initials there. Which NES title, since we've been talking about an NES game for the majority of this podcast, which NES title would you love to see get a remake by channeling your inner Michael Huber to will it into existence? Personally, I'd love to see an RC Pro-Am remake, and for SNES, it would be Rock and Roll Racing. So
Rock and Roll Racing, isn't that?
We'll keep it at NES or SNES for this.
Or was Blizzard devs? Huh.
Oh, Rock and Roll Racing?
I think some of the devs eventually went on to Blizzard, or Blizzard worked on that or something.
Rock and Roll Racing was Silicon and Synapse, which is now Blizzard.
Yeah.
Now known as Blizzard Entertainment. Yeah. So the predecessor to Blizzard developed this game. Yeah. Nice knowledge there. I mean, I know my answer easily.
Yeah, go ahead. I gotta think.
I want, because we were talking about Castlevania 2, and I don't want to see this one, but like we talked about another similar game. I want to see Zelda 2 remade. I would love to see a Zelda 2 remake. And I would
just
love
like
to
with
see
some of the RPG elements, like
I would love them to rework whatever needs to be reworked to make it a better game and bring it like.
Do you want it like 2D or do you want it 3D?
I personally like it to stay 2D. I mean, it can do that 2.5D stuff, but I'd prefer it to stick to that because a lot of its concepts and stuff have been translated into 3D already. But the core essence of that more RPG style Zelda game, with like an overall map and then like side-scrolling environments, I would like to see that. Basically, like as ambitious as Samus Returns or more, essentially.
Yeah, totally.
Where they can take liberties for sure. I would absolutely be open to that.
Let's see. I liked this game, Wizards and Warriors. I remember was cool. I think that's a Rare game.
Wizards and Warriors. I remember seeing that freaking title. I just never played it. I might have had friends or stuff.
Sure,
it's available now, but Rare. Yeah, it's a Rare game.
Yeah.
And David Wise did the soundtrack for this thing.
Yeah,
1987. Yeah.
Also, this game I liked. called Clash of Demon Head.
Yep.
I like
absolutely
that game a lot. That'd be an interesting game to make because it's kind of like, you know, you go through side-scrolling areas and there's like you kind of go to different spots and pick stuff. You got weird guns and gadgets, skeletons. Could be a weird game. But yeah, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Yeah, I like Sega and NES because like NES games are like more in dire need of like updating
Yeah,
if they would touch
sure.
them. Like what Super Nintendo, there's like it'd be so many usual suspects. I feel that would be there that you'd want to see remade or whatever.
Yeah, like ActRaiser or something.
Yeah, there's like there are some like more obscure NES games I feel that also could get.
I just can't I need a list and just like look at a list of NES games.
It's like would I ever want a Rad Racer?
Yeah.
Would you ever want an RC Pro? Like I mean that's what they said.
Yeah.
Like I know that game. I definitely know this game. I RC Pro Am. You know, also a rare game.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
and
the
Rad Racer
game,
Square.
The Batman game I remember was sick.
Oh
on NES.
yes, dude,
that would be really cool. Like a 2D Batman game, a new one. Damn, that'd be fun.
I will gladly take that. Yeah, I mean, you saw what they did with DuckTales. DuckTales Remastered. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of great NES licensed games. I mean, NES licensed games that were kids loved growing up playing them that would work wonders being redone.
Yeah, a lot of those old Capcom like Disney games are really sick. Like the Chip and Dale one's really sick.
I played a lot of Mickey Mousecapade. That game was frustrating to me, but should replay that and see if we can like beat it now. Dude. But I'm trying to think of any other ones. I mean,
what's the one that everyone loves? I've never played it. Fax Xanadu. People love that game. I've never played it, so I don't really know
there's
about
Xevious,
it.
There's
some Star Tropics for Blood.
Oh, Star Tropics would be.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people would probably want to see that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was not a NES game. I was thinking of oh man, no. I mean, do you think they would ever dare to remake OG Ninja Gaiden?
I was thinking about Ninja Gaiden. That could be interesting if
that
it was
series
a 2D
has gone
style.
Like because
I mean it's like an action game now. But if it's like a platformer again, that could be really interesting.
OG Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
I mean, that's kind of like the meme is that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 2 more so than 1. Like you combine 1 and 2, it's essentially like Metal Gear Solid is like the remake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. High and D. There's a helicopter you gotta fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Metal Gear's real good.
I mean, I'm on board for this stuff, especially with all these rumors of Nintendo revisiting now Mario Classics for the 35th anniversary.
Yeah, like.
Yeah,
I just wanted to even do that. Just like the Zelda games. Like
we speculated about the Zelda stuff too. It's like, but there are like a lot of other deserving games that aren't
for sure
AAA that would love to see them get updated.
I still want Zack and Wiki to come back. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I would love for that to come back.
Zack and Wiki and Smash. It's
that
one
would
of
be
the fighter
sick.
passes
That
absolutely
would be
happening.
Sick.
What maybe you know what? Realistically, maybe a me costumes.
Yeah, that's like
I could see
that's like
maybe
semi-realistic, but I feel like Capcom hasn't even like talked about that game since it came out. I think it's dead, dude.
I wonder if that would ever be a candidate for. I mean, because it was so ingrained with motion controls, though. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
Like
you could put it on PC or something, maybe. I don't know.
Would they ever put that on something like Steam or something like that? And there's a way to do it. I don't know,
man. I'd hope so.
I know they've been like, was there a recent Contra, or is that the one that?
Yeah, there was a recent Contra.
Oh yeah, there was. I was gonna say like Contra's always won. I mean, we already had like River City Girls.
Yeah.
So we already had like a River City Ransom type thing. Blaster. I'm looking through some games like Blaster Masters had updates. Excite Bikes had updates. Double Dragon, Ghosts and Goblins. I mean, that series.
Ghosts and Goblins is a really interesting one. Was Maximo? I think Maximo was like kind of tied to it. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Ninja Turtles 2 arcade game. I mean, we already got a bad. That's an example of things go bad. I do know one though that we haven't said. Okay. I think Nintendo fans specifically might want to see have a crack at. Someone take a crack at it. It's Kid Icarus, OG Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus, yeah.
Because that's kind of one of the more neglected franchises for Nintendo.
Because it was what, DS was the last one?
Yeah.
Or was it 3DS? I don't know.
3DS. It was 3DS. Yeah.
But like, people liked it, but it had like that weird control scheme or whatever.
Yeah. Sakurai was pretty intent on making you play it the way he wanted it to play.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be, I mean, that one also, I mean, I'd love that game to be reworked and coming on Switch someday. But the OG one getting, you know, just a remake of some kind, like, or just even a new Kid Icarus of some kind. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm really curious about Nintendo, like, making something click with Star Fox. Because Star Fox has been in this weird, like, rough position since 64.
The thing is, they keep remaking the same game.
Yeah.
Star Fox 64 is a remake of Star Fox.
Yeah.
And then Star Fox Zero is a remake of Star Fox 64. And then you have Star Fox Assault, kind of original. It's actually a sequel, like one of the few sequels. There's Star Fox Command, which isn't really canon, I guess, because it has so many different endings. It's a derivative of Star Fox 2's concept of like RTS, like solar system map. And then when you go to planets, you do missions and stuff. It's like, oh, okay. Questionable controls with the stylus, you know, not the best controls for that one. Star Fox Adventures, not really a Star Fox game, was forced to become a Star Fox game, kind of like led to some friction between Rare and Nintendo. Miyamoto showing some of his not so great habits and business practices there. But I would love Star Fox to come back and have a great game. We had the Grand Prix rumors. Who knows what the hell was going on with that?
Yeah.
Retro or whoever was doing that, I don't know. But I would love to see someone else have a chance to make a Star Fox game.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I would really love like a Earthbound reboot or something.
I mean, people would like Earthbound, all the games that come out here officially.
Get another 3. You get your games that you've been wanting, okay? You get
the
your
Mother
games.
Collection. That's always
you get
been
your Mother
rumored.
Collection, but then like a reboot of Mother or something, like a 3D Mother.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about, maybe.
For sure, I'm down for that. I also forgot a really good remake, Metroid Zero Mission for Metroid, because I hate OG Metroid. I think it's a bad game. It's like my Castlevania 2.
Sure, yeah.
So much, but there's a lot of potential good ideas there that aren't realized till later. But going back and playing it, I think it's awful. I think it's an awful game. But Zero Mission makes it playable. It's like go play Zero Mission. Like there you go, something like that. It's just that's plenty. It's like the perfect tasteful update in my opinion. Tasteful update. Yeah, that's all I got. Cool. I don't have any more suggestions. We can go on forever for this, but I think that's good. Thank you for those questions. Everyone who submitted one.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
For those of you who want to submit a question to a future episode of Friend Code for consideration, you just need to be a $5 or up patron. I'll make a post a week we're recording calling for your submissions. Also, thank you for those of you who are a $5 or a patron. You're part of our early access tier. Get episodes of Friend Code and other shows and podcasts a few days early usually. But everyone else who's just watching this public on YouTube, thank you for supporting the show in your way. Always appreciate it. We do have some shout outs for this month. Pulling it up, I have the list here. I hope this is the right list. I just went to our Patreon and pulled the benefits and pulled the patron. It says March 2020, but there's no newer month, so I'm guessing these are the confirmed people for April. So these are our shout outs for the month of April 2020. And I did this last time and they looked exactly the same. So we're not in May yet, so I'm safe. So shout outs to Greg, the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Crawford. I forget your nickname, Caleb. It's not in here on here.
Is it Tofi or something?
It's like Togi or Toby.
Togi. So I think it's Togi.
I'm sorry, Caleb. It's not listed on your Patreon, so I do apologize for that. Elthanis, Blue, and Jesse Blue. Love that. Like Blue into Jesse Blue.
Blue into Jesse Blue.
And shout out.
Shout out.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brad, for joining me on this episode.
Yeah, like I would never think that someone would want to talk to me about
so
Castlevania
this is the thing. Yeah, I want to put that out for our listeners and our viewers. So this was one of those ideas that I've been like floating around where Friend Code, when there isn't a lot of news, especially now because of like the world dealing with the situation, and us being in a shelter in place and a lot of companies not being able to continue their work as normal, it just means super light news. And so we have to figure out a way to make topics. And one of the original concepts for Friend Code for episode ideas was these kind of like, I would say, deep dives into individual games. And we really had it. I did one for Super Mario 64, but it was just me by myself. But I want to try this out. And like, unfortunately, it's a tall ask to ask someone to go back and like replay a game, even like a shorter game like this in preparation for an episode like this. And I think it worked out well. Hopefully, I think to our viewers and listeners.
No, it was
like
great.
This.
It was great, dude.
Brad says it's great. So
it was great. Don't worry.
It was great. So I mean, look forward to more of these. I think I can tell you this. I think we got the ideas down for the next few episodes. The next episode is going to be a special one because I'm going to have. I mean, all episodes are special. It's always special, especially when I have Brad on. The next
special.
One, return of a guest who's only been on the show once. Don Casanova.
Ooh,
going to be making second appearance on Friend Code along with Ian Hink. We're going to be talking about Super Mario Maker 2. The two of them are going to talk about the final updates, making a world, essentially a whole like Mario game. Their final thoughts on Mario Maker 2 after all these updates have come to a conclusion. Really excited to see that as well. And then I think we're going to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles at some point. And just about these news, I basically expect maybe more of these potential deep dives into an individual game from like Nintendo's past.
Definitely want to do like a deep dive into Breath of the Wild before 2 comes
out.
out.
That was the one.
Definitely want to do something with that.
And so if you like these, we'll definitely do more of these in lieu of news. But something tells me as we head into May and like potentially June that there probably will be some news. I have a good feeling that we might finally get some news because we're going to be seeing all these announcements coming from everyone else. The announcements I think are going to start happening in May for everyone else, for Sony and Microsoft. I think it's coming up on the time that Nintendo needs to give some updates. Like Animal Crossing sold a lot, record numbers. Switches are impossible to find. Might be due, a little bit due to some bots gaming the system and causing inflation of prices. But hey, Nintendo was in a good spot with everything. But the further and further we get after the last first-party major release, June's the next stuff. Sword and Shield expansion, first part.
Oh yeah.
New Smash Brothers character in June from ARMS. Who's the ARMS character? And why is it Twintel? Basically there'll definitely be stuff by June to start talking about again, and I feel like the news will start ramping up again. But yeah, thank you, Brad. Though. Oh
yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. Love talking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm tongue-tied right there. That's my new sign off right there. Until next time, everybody, may the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.